All right, welcome back everybody to the Statuesque Events YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to all things weddings, events, bridal, and of course, coaching fellow wedding and event professionals. We're really excited about the topic for today. We're going to talk about a few things to consider if you plan to lose weight before your wedding. All right. Now, before we get too far, I always like to introduce myself. My name is Faye Shola. I'm the owner of Statuesque Events. You can see a little bit on the wall. Okay, Statuesque Events. We plan beautiful modern multicultural weddings here in the DC metro area and across the United States and internationally. We're really excited about the opportunity to work with so many amazing couples all over, and hey, you might be our next one. Also, we love coaching wedding and event planners in our signature program called Planners Who Profit. It is exactly what it sounds like. We help wedding and event planners to increase their profit, structure their businesses accurately, and work on systems to help you with saving time in such a busy and stressful field as event planning. All right. If you want to learn more about connecting with us for any one of those, whether it be coaching, whether it be planning an event, use the comments box, all right, and we'll connect with you that way. For today, what we are talking about is things to consider if you're losing weight before your wedding. Like, I have always been like, okay, like a lot of people lose weight before their wedding. I get it, but kind of not. It's like, the person you're marrying loves you the way you are, so you don't have to lose weight. But if you choose to do so, if you choose to lose weight, that's exciting. It's always a fun journey. But there are a few things you want to keep in mind because it could affect other things. Now, number one, if you choose to lose weight before your wedding, you definitely want to start early, like as early as possible, definitely months before the wedding, to start shedding the weight that you want to shed before the wedding and then try to maintain. And this is going to feed into point number two, but it's really important that you don't try to lose a whole bunch of weight like 3 weeks before your wedding. If you're used to crash dieting and just like not eating carbs for 2 weeks and you were planning to do that right before the wedding, it could backfire, right, in a few ways. So you definitely want to make sure that you start early. Combining that kind of weight loss with a lot of stress could make you break out. It causes all kinds of other things and it's just not cute. So you definitely want to start early. I would definitely say, hey, at least, 4 months out before the wedding, even 6 months out before the wedding, meet with a trainer, come up with a plan, and start early. Now, the reason I said this feeds into the second point number two, is that one big reason that I want you to start early is that you got to plan your fittings around this, right? Your fittings, each time you go in for a fitting, is to make the dress fit you at whatever size you are at that moment. So the last thing you want to do is buy a dress, right? Do your fitting, get your final fitting done maybe 3 weeks before the wedding or so, 4 weeks before the wedding, and then go on a crash diet. Because what that means is that the dress is going to hang off of you. And that's especially bad if you happen to have like a one arm or strapless dress, right? You want it to fit snug, you want it to fit comfortably and well. You don't want a dress just hanging off of you on your wedding day. That also isn't great. So you want to make sure that you start early. That way when you get to the point of doing your final fittings and doing your final alterations, that it's accurate, right? And things fit for you. Another thing, point number three, this also kind of ties in with fittings and alterations, is if this is something you plan to do, I would definitely budget a little extra for alterations. Here's the thing about wedding dresses, right? Unless you buy a wedding dress from a designer directly, there are, this day and age, 2022, 2023, 2024, there are lots of dress designers that you can buy a dress from directly. And in that case, like if you're working with like a designer like that, many times they're making the dress to your size, in which case the alteration process is included. So in that case, that's cool. But if you go to a traditional dress salon where you're buying a dress to a size, most times you have to get an alteration. The price of the alterations, I always tell people, can be anything. It could be $500 and you could literally spend like $2,000 or even more to alter the dress, depending on how the dress is made, how complex it is, and how many things need to be altered, right? If you need to bring in the waist and then bring in the top and then lengthen it or shorten it, like all those different things go into account. So if you're planning to lose weight, the dress size that you order at the time that you order the dress, like 9 months before the wedding, is probably going to be a little different from when the dress comes. I don't recommend buying a dress like a size smaller. Bridal sizes are totally different from normal, like in the store sizes. So I wouldn't recommend being like, oh yeah, let me buy a dress that's a size smaller and see if I fit into it. Because again, things change, life happens, and if you don't fit into it, that's not good either. So definitely you want to buy the dress to your size and give yourself time, give yourself a little extra cushion in your budget to alter it down to your new size later on. That's something that's really important. You know, for me personally, as an experience, I've been a bridesmaid a few times, and we've had to do the same thing. For people who are losing a whole lot of weight, you gotta make sure you're planning for alterations, right? Because those will happen if you end up losing as much weight as you plan in some of those cases. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, the last thing I want to mention, if you're planning to lose weight before the wedding, you want to make sure that your final fitting is pretty close to the wedding, right? You want to make sure your final fitting is maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most before the wedding. And once you hit that point, you need to make a plan to maintain your weight. You can't keep trying to like lose a whole bunch more or gain a whole bunch more. You're gonna try to maintain for that time, and it goes back to what I said earlier about making sure that your dress doesn't hang off of you and that it's not like impossible to zip up into. You may even want to try it on once or twice really quick so you don't sweat into it or anything. You know, leading up just to make sure you're clear on where you are. It's really important. You know, a lot of times I've seen a lot of things. I've had to sew people into their dresses, honey. I've had to, you know, we've had to like pinch people's dresses. We've had people who've bought dresses from the most renowned stores who on the wedding day the dress is like falling off of their body, right? Because they lost weight between their last fitting and the wedding day. And that's not what we want for you, right? We want you to feel comfortable in your dress. And a lot of this comes with you just being mindful and trying to regulate your own weight, all right? So those are some things to keep in mind if you always envision losing weight before your wedding. You gotta like work it around your clothes to make sure that you're actually comfortable on that day, not just skinny but comfortable in your clothes on that day. All right, so I hope this has been helpful. If this has been helpful for you, I need you to do two things. Number one, like this video, that tells the algorithm that you enjoyed this. And number two, subscribe, because that makes sure that you get to see our future content as it's coming up. We've got so much content coming out on this channel. We're approaching 100 videos. We're really excited about that. And I want to make sure you see all the stuff that we're rolling out. So make sure you subscribe. All right, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back again very soon.